Hi, my name is Bunny, and today I'm going to be sharing with you a recent study in psychology that looks at how your style of decision making may be causing you stress. So let's see what that is all about. So researchers have identified two styles of decision making. The first one is called the high assessment oriented decision-making style, or the high assessor. This is the person who's very concerned about making the right decision, and they're very anxious about making the wrong decision. So it's the person who really thinks about all the different options there are. They're really careful about thinking what is really the right thing to do. And that's why this person actually experiences a lot of anxiety in the decision-making process. They'd rather be right than be happy. And so, as you can see, if you're really overly thinking things and you're trying to consider all the different options that there are, this is going to make your decision-making process very difficult. The second category that's been identified is the person who is who's most concerned about getting it done, pursuing their goal, and as soon as they achieve their goal, they're already thinking about the next goal. So this really reminds me of Nike's very famous slogan, "Just do it." And this is called the locomotion-oriented decision maker. So they're very concerned about getting it done. Instead of the other category, the high assessor, instead of thinking about all the different alternatives, they already started they've already made their decision and they're halfway through. And so they often experience the flow state when they're pursuing their goal, and the overall experience of making a decision for them is less stressful. This also makes sense. But what's more important, what was really found in the study, is that your style of decision making is actually flexible. So if you're aware of what decision making style you're more prone to, perhaps you can actually better prepare yourself or adopt the right decision making style according to the different situations. So what situations do you need to consider? All right, so the first category, which was the high assessor, the person who's really careful about making decisions and really thinks about all the options, really wants to avoid making the wrong decision, you should adopt this style when high stakes are involved, which often is about finances, or if you're making a very big life change or life decision, or if it's a career move, then it is better to adopt this style, because once you make that decision, it's very hard to go back. Now, when it comes to everyday life matters, for example, where you're going to have dinner with your friends on the weekend, or where you're going to travel, or what food you're going to have today. Sometimes people think about so many options. I'm sure you've experienced it yourself. You want to go out for dinner with your friends and you're taking hours perhaps deciding what to eat. So if it's day-to-day matters where high stakes are not involved, then it's better to adopt this locomotion-oriented decision-making style. Now, if you are interested in finding out what decision-making style you're more prone to have, there's a quiz that you can complete. I'm going to read out the items for you. I will also include the description in the, actually I will include all the items. I will copy and paste it in the description box below. So what you have to do is, as I read these items, you have to rank it from 1 to 5, 1 being strongly disagree, and 5 being strongly agree. And then you're going to take your score, and then I will tell you which one corresponds to which style. So let's go. Item number 1. I don't mind doing things even if they involve extra effort. So rank it from 1 to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Second item, I am a workaholic. Number 3, I feel excited just before I am about to reach the goal. Fourth item, I enjoy actively doing things more than just watching and observing. And the last item, by the time I accomplish a task, I already have the next one in mind. So this was the first set. Now I'm going to be reading the second set. And for this one, you also need to rank it from 1 to 5. So first item, I spend a great deal of time taking inventory of my positive and negative characteristics. I am very self-critical and self-conscious about what I am saying. I often think that other people's choice and decisions are wrong. I often critique work done by myself and others. When I meet a new person, I usually evaluate how well he or she is doing on various dimensions. For example, looks, achievements, social status, and clothes. Now, once you've tallied up all your scores for the first and second section, you have to compare the two. If your score for the first 5 is closer to 25, then you're more likely to depend on a locomotion regulatory mode or the locomotion assessment style. And if, however, you're more closer to 25 on the second portion, so the second items that I read, you're more likely of an assessor. Now, if you're wondering, my scores were really close. For the first section, I got a 16, and for the second section, I got a 15. So practically, I am more of a locomotion-oriented person, which means that I experience less stress when making decisions. Now, so I want to summarize why this research is important. It's very important because if you're aware of the decision-making style that you have, then you can adapt your decision-making style. If you're aware of it, then you can be more conscious of it, depending on the situation that you're in. So let's recap. When you are making decisions that involve very high stakes, how can you identify that? That's often if your decision has a single defined yes or no answer, if there's a clear line between right and wrong, and if it has very immediate consequences for the self and others. So again, if there are high stakes involved, then you should adopt this decision-making style. But on the other hand, if it doesn't carry any significant or public consequences, if it means more to you than anybody else, or there are no clear yes, wrong, or right, as there was in this one, then it's better to adopt this style. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know what your comments are below, and I would be happy to hear what your decision-making style is.